What's up, beautiful Bitcoiners? Nobody Caribou here. I just got back from the Freedom Convoy press conference, the third one that they held, and I was there to speak on behalf of the Bitcoin community to give an update about what's going on. I covered everything except for one page of information that I have, one section, which was all about details and considerations that we're taking with this project. It didn't seem appropriate to say it at the press conference because most people there have no idea what this stuff means, but these are things that I know the Bitcoin community would want to know and deserve to know, so that this is done fully transparently and people are aware of what's happening. So I'm gonna send this footage, I'm gonna open source this, so I'll have a Dropbox link if anyone wants this footage or the press conference footage. Just reach out, Nobody Caribou on Twitter, and I'm happy to let anyone access that. So I guess first of all, thank you all for helping support this movement. I don't think it's about Ottawa or Canada or truckers anymore. I think it's about freedom for the world. And so there's a variety of ways we can put these funds to use. And until we know for sure, you know, this will all be discussed in the open. It's still changing quite rapidly, but nothing will be done until we kind of get consensus amongst a board of awesome, badass Bitcoiners about what the best way to use these things are based on the ground situation. And then we'll announce it and let everyone know. So we have an advisory panel for this Bitcoin project. So I'm the Bitcoin team lead. I'm connected to people that in the Bitcoin community that help with the technical element, the execution and implementation of how these funds get custodied. And right now it's myself, Greg Foss. Jeff Booth is sort of on the advisory panel, so we talked to him to ask him his thoughts about this. Ben from BTC Sessions helped us get this thing booted up. He's the guy that started Hong Kong HODL. I think it's so amazing. And he'll be more in the background and probably be pulling away from direct involvement. And then there's a bunch of people who are indirectly involved with just helping us. So here are some things I want to get out there. I'm going to keep this quick. We are running our own node, and we're actually going to set up the team who will be bringing this treasury into the future and executing whatever plan we create. I will be working with them to make sure that they can get their own node set up, and they're at least literate at a basic level of why we need to run a node in order to custody these funds and what a node is. And so I'm basically going to be doing education with the accountant and the bookkeeper that is in charge of doing whatever we're going to do with this. So we're going to run our own node. We've implemented a multi-sig custody strategy. So right now it's 3 of 5 with some Bitcoiners and then people that are part of the Freedom Convoy leadership team. And we're going to probably migrate to a 5 of 7 strategy so that we can get a lawyer and an accountant overseeing this and requiring multiple signatures for any transaction to be broadcast. So right now the multi-sig fund is set up and we're starting to migrate funds. Everything from the tally coin will be migrated over based on thresholds. So when it gets to a certain amount of sats, we will migrate that over to the multi-sig. We're being, you know, like everyone on Twitter has been awesome, and I'm going to go in as many spaces as my brain can handle and take notes. And this whole notion of there being trade-offs between transparency and privacy, I think is going to be something that we want to spend a good amount of time on to make sure it's done right. We want to maintain the privacy of the people who donated so that they're not doxing their own wallets, and also maintain some degree of privacy for the people receiving the funds so that they're not left holding the bag with any issues with capital gains or taxes. So that's one side, maintain privacy. The other side is being as transparent as possible with donors so that they can see everything going on. And it's kind of a fine line to walk. And we're gonna be looking for the global Bitcoin community and some cool Twitter spacers where we can sort of get input from people who really understand this and sort of navigate through this and make sure that we do it the best way. So yeah, my suggestion is that we create, in terms of transparency, my suggestion is that we create a landing page which can act as a publicly viewable ledger of all the activity with details for every transaction, right? Do it the Bitcoin way, out in the open, let everyone see, have the bookkeeper or accountant update with details of like this transaction ID was for this. This is specifically what it was spent on. This is who it went to, all that kind of stuff. You know, if I was donating to this, especially if it was a significant sum, as some of these generous Bitcoiners have done, I would want to see where this is going and really, in the Bitcoin way, have enough transparency that I can feel good and also just know, where is this actually going? What's being done with this? And so that's going to be a big element of making sure that we're as transparent as possible while maintaining privacy of donors and recipients of these funds. We plan to coin join the funds that we've received, and so, you know, we have some world-class technical people that I'm sure you'll all recognize, but I don't know if they want to be mentioned. But all I can say is badass humans in the Bitcoin community that are masters of privacy and security are helping us execute coin joins so that we mix all the coins. Right now we have several wallets that were started at different points of time, and so we're going to focus this week on aggregating the funds from all the different wallets and taking notes on where all these funds are coming from and where they're going to, so that we have one primary multisig, and to kind of clean things up a little bit. So yeah, that's a brief update of what's going on, some of our technical details. I look forward to hearing any and all feedback from Bitcoiners who want to weigh in on this. I really feel that at this point, the legal shield is not as significant as I thought it was. There's a lot of misinformation coming from Ottawa Police, from legacy media. And so right now it's kind of hard to parse what is noise and tactics, misinformation tactics, and what is reality. So I think right now having a legal shield and people knowing that we have a well-financed legal shield to protect these truckers from bullshit charges that are just designed to kind of slow them down or kill morale will be very important. I think eventually this has the potential to be a perpetual endowment where people can fund it for, you know, we leave it open for funding, because if what we're trying to do happens and it happens clearly and we free Canada, it's going to be a big domino to free the world, and there will be many other freedom convoys. And so if this is an endowment that anyone can pull into at any time, that can distribute funds over time to truckers that have sacrificed in order to stand for freedom, I think that'd be really cool. And if we take a longer term trickle out effect, we can leverage the fact that number go up, all the sats that get sent out end up being worth more. And you know, this whole idea that what if we offered every trucker that came here and sacrificed and showed that, you know, shows their vehicle registration and shows that they came here, they reported to a road captain, all the due diligence to make sure that people who are saying they sacrificed to be here, we've actually verified that they did. What if all of them got a perpetual freedom pension paid every month, got sats to them sent every month until the fund dries up, as a thank you? That would be a really cool thing. And I think that would demonstrate the power of Bitcoin. And you know, we don't have Strike here in Canada yet. We don't have Cash App. We don't have a lot of the mainstream platforms that are making it much easier to find an on-ramp and an exit ramp, to get into Bitcoin and to get out of Bitcoin into fiat. But you know, if we put an urgent rollout for Strike in Canada, we could probably organize this in a much more tactical way and have it be really powerful, right? If a trucker can have a really clean interface that is a better financial experience than even the banking that they do with Canadian banks, and it incorporates Bitcoin and allows them to interchange between Bitcoin and Canadian dollars easily, I think that'd be really powerful. So hopefully that's a decent enough update. If you have any questions, DM me. DMs are kind of a mess, but I will try and honestly get through them all. You know, I try and answer as many of them as I can. Thank you to the whole Bitcoin community for getting behind this. I really think it's showing the power of freedom money, and it's showing the generosity of Bitcoiners and how there is way more people around planet Earth that value freedom than what people think. So thank you, and I'll give you an update when I know more. Cheers.